policy is very clear. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61, because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire.
Shalom. I'd like to say all praise due unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, of whom I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the elect. My name's Kanawak, and I'm going to be doing this lesson, video that I saw on the internet. And basically, this is one of these ambassadors of China that says that, if America thinks to attack China, they're going to attack severely, with intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? And this is all prophecy what's coming to pass. This is Joel 3:9. Proclaim me this among the Gentiles, prepare war, make up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And basically we're proclaiming, war, that World War III is coming. And that's why, we as Hebrew Israelites, basically specifically Great Millstone, and the One Westers from in the 80s, 70s, they were going into nuclear war, right? According to the Bible, that, nuclear war is very imminent. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Because, Asia, China, North Korea, they were farming. They were basically, they were into agriculture. They were into farming. But, after World War II, you had, North Korea, China, certain countries, India, Iran, that now they're in a nuclear arms race, where basically they're stockpiling, nuclear weapon, nuclear arsenal to destroy, because these are weapons of mass destruction that's going to be used, and it's all according to prophecy. Assemble yourself and come, and all ye heathen, and gather yourself together round about thither. Cause thy mighty one to come down, O Lord. So these missiles, they're going to be used. The Heavenly Father Yahweh, he that's why it says Isaiah. It says, I have created a smith, right? I could get it. Now go back to Joel, Isaiah 54, and Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created a waster to destroy. Right? So the Lord, He created the smith, starting with the Manhattan Project, right? That the Germans, after World War II, they basically they had the Manhattan Project, and a lot of the Temanites, which are the Germans, they came to America. Some of them went to Russia as well, and they've been in this nuclear arms race. So they created the atomic bomb, known as a Fat Boy and Little Boy. And they show you that in that movie that came out a couple of years ago. Forgot the it was a very good movie, and it shows you that how the atomic bombs were created. That bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I will create the waster to destroy. So the waster, is going to be destroyed. Like those missiles are going to be used, and a lot of people is going to perish, right? There's going to be nuclear radiation, and that's why it says that the wormwood, because the rivers, certain parts of the sea is going to be contaminated. So while the elect is going to be in the chariot, like they're going to be in the chariot for a while, and these people on the earth is going to suffer, nuclear radiation, nuclear fallout, man, and a lot of people is going to die. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, the Lord, that against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servant of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, said the Lord. Yeah, so so no weapon is going to be formed against the elect, because they're going to be protected, from from these weapons, from these ICBMs, man. So Joel 3. And going back to 11. Assemble yourself, come, and all ye heathen, gather yourself together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Right? So, yeah, so they're being assembled. They're going to be assembled, man. You're going to have nations like China, right? Russia, right? Which is known as the bear. That's in Ezekiel 38 and 1, right? The bear, Iran, North Korea, India, right? They have these weapons, man, nuclear weapons, and it's gonna be used, on America. They show you that in that movie that came on in the early 80s or the late 70s. I think it's called The Day After. Right? And they show you that in that movie, All Knowing, as well, right? Where there's like a nuclear, like there is basically fire, right? Like nuclear weapon that was used, in these in these major cities, and basically the fire destroyed, buildings, and that's gonna happen. It's gonna be fire, man. Let the heathen be wakened, come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat. So the valley of Yehoshaphat, right, which means the most Yahweh's judgment. right? For there will I sit to judge the heathen round about. So the valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be in the um known in the Bible, known as the Fertile Crescent, right? There's gonna be nuclear war, in that region, man. Right? And Israel is going to be destroyed, the state of Israel, right? And they're gonna be going back and forth. You have Iran, you know, they're gonna be going back and forth, and certain a lot of the landmass of Israel is gonna be destroyed, but and their first job after the destruction is going to be to bury the dead bodies. So that's why I said I'm gonna sever out men of continual employment. Put ye on the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fat overfloweth, for their wickedness is great. Multitude and multitude in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So this is what's gonna happen, right? Um, you know, it's gonna be there's gonna be millions of soldiers, that's going to be going back and forth, right? And then they're eventually they're going to use nuclear weapon against each other. But basically, um, at the same time, once they're fighting each other, Yahweh Shai, right? He's going to pull up, in his chariot, massive chariot that and all these nations, all these other military armies, they're going to try to fight against the Lord. They show you that in that movie Independence Day with Will Smith, right? And it shows you basically all these different nations, that they were fighting against the so-called alien invaders. And then at the end, Will Smith, he saved the day. But that's not gonna happen. The Lord and the angels is gonna get busy, and they're gonna destroy a lot of people. So with that, that is our praise duty. How about Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Kodash, double honor to pastor of great millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.